So my joke going into the movie I watched is you'll no. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse. I keep forgetting that my PC's right next to my vent, so if I'm shivering, I swear I have a blanket on. It's just so hot outside that my house is like pumping air at my feet. But yeah, welcome to another episode. I'm Hoppocalypse. This is Itisdpayne.
I'm not cold. I am the opposite of freezing. I don't have, my air conditioner's right behind me.
Yeah.
Right there.
In a box. Yeah.
I don't even know if it's going to show up on camera, but top solid.
Yeah, I have my air conditioning set to where I'm cold because I have 2 rabbits. So if I'd rather be chilly and make sure they don't overheat than, the opposite. I know everyone's like, to save energy. And I'm like, yeah, I have 2 fur creatures that if they overheat too much, then they kind of just stop working. So.
Mine isn't even to really save energy. I'm just like, I don't feel like paying that electric bill yet.
Yeah, that's really valid. But that's what I mean by save energy, like to save on your bills and things like that. That's what most people, care about.
Well, depending if you go on certain people talking about your energy bill, I don't know. It's one of those things like every once in a while, it's fun hearing what stories carry on. And this is not, our podcast is not about conspiracy theories. And it's not even what I watched, but we're now movie. But quick conspiracy is just like, hey, this part I heard, like, once again, it could be fake stories because you just see them online and I don't really care enough to go look at them. But it is funny to be like, yep, I went and got my electric bill was $300. Not me personally, this is the video. And they're like, it was $300. So it's like, you know what? I didn't use the air conditioner as much. I got blackout curtains for everything and all that, blah, 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 blah. My energy bill came back $360. And it's just like, what the heck? And honestly, I think if I remember correctly, a lot of that depends on where you're at and tax codes.
Yeah, there's that.
As much as it sucks, but it's
there's also like different things happening across different states. TLDR. If you don't want high energy bills, don't use AI because data centers are putting their expenses onto us instead of paying for their own electricity that they use. So,
yeah.
So
I wish I didn't have AI on this thing.
I know, like Strider and I think that our phones are getting throttled, and I'm just like, I don't want to get a new phone where it's all built in.
Yeah, mine. I just got the S24 Ultra, and that is the last one before they heavily started pushing AI. But like after I bought it, I realized I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like every Android update, and I'm pretty sure Apple is at this as well, is pushing AI. And it's funny because it's not funny, but I can't think of a better word for it. It's like, because I was looking at Chinese phones, and they, like, the way that America, social media, and everything, like, there's so, like a large push for anti-AI in like Chinese social media, because I am on it and I look at it. They are so pro AI. It's crazy, just like different things. Like, I don't know if you've seen the video. It's just like, oh, is this why my planet is dying? And it's just like it's like videos of like AI videos of dogs ordering food and yelling at like a very obvious AI waitress. And it's like, is this the reason why our planet's dying or something like that? And it's like, yeah.
Yeah, there's no sugarcoating it. Yeah, that was the other life update I forgot to tell you about. I was in your neck of the woods yesterday because I went to the author event for I don't know how to properly pronounce her last name, but the author of Adventures of Amina El Sarafi.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was up closer to you, and it was funny. The person I was with was like, "Oh, why didn't you invite him?" I was like, "I'm pretty sure weekdays are hard for him," even though like he doesn't live far from here now. But they somebody asked the author, "Hey, are you afraid about AI taking over the publishing industry and writing stories. And she was like, we've been telling stories has been one of the oldest professions in the world, other than, the other one, selling your body. But because she said that the reason she ended up writing Adventures of Amina is, one, she is an older woman herself, and two, that she was debating going back and becoming a history professor for the stuff in the Indian Ocean. So you've read the book, so you understand. Like, it makes a lot of sense that she would be really fascinated with that stuff. Yeah. So she basically said, like, storytelling is one of the world's oldest professions. We've been doing it as soon as we could communicate, even if, like, we didn't have language. We had pictures, we had art to tell stories. So she's not worried that a machine that regurgitates things will take away storytelling, because it's such a human activity. But she was like, but I am worried about data centers stealing jobs and destroying our planet. That scares me. Not the idea of me losing, like, my ability to tell stories. And everybody went, whoa! So, yeah, the planet, kapooey, all because of people don't want to have to learn to do things.
Yeah. And, yeah, so it's... And just for future reference, if there is something like that, it's like, you can always shoot... Like, yesterday would have been tough, because... that we were supposed to have our premarital counseling session, and then something came up and we didn't know, so we're just like, okay. But yeah. But don't worry. After Charity Palooza, my weekdays will be really open. But yeah, it was... I will say it's just like... I think it's like partially studying history. It's interesting studying history and then, like, looking at the world and just realizing how it's like, man, it feels like people who are making planetary to national, like, and not just even in America, like, worldwide, they should be required to take history lessons, because it's like, man, I wish humans would stop, like, at least the humans in power would stop doing the same thing over and over. But, hey, if we can't expect some people to not come up with original content, why would our leaders? And, hey, we didn't watch original content because we watched remade movies. Segue.
Yeah, it's really hard to, like, sell a new IP. Isn't that what the gaming industry has been doing for a while too? Yeah. Everybody knows these names. Why make a new game? It's like, because people are tired. Don't give us number 8. Well, certain series, I will forgive it, but most series have to reinvent themselves. Like, I did enjoy the newer Resident Evils, and I did enjoy the newer Silent Hill. But those are kind of like reworks within the landscape.
Yeah.
Versus Call of Duty number 1 billion.
Yeah. You know what I'm not enjoying the first iteration of, that a lot of people are like, oh, but it's so good. I'm like, yeah, when it came out, me playing it for the first time. It's the same thing with Final Fantasy VII. I didn't enjoy Final Fantasy VII when it first came out. And I might hurt some fans of this series as well. I'm like, wow, Devil May Cry 1 sucks. So I'm like, wow, this is not fun.
I will say, whenever I hear people tell me about Devil May Cry, like when I talk to people about that have a range of gaming, right? There's not a lot of people that I know that have played the Devil May Cry series, but whenever they talk about it, they don't take it very seriously. So it is, I don't know. Do with that what you will.
No, it's like there is no story to take seriously right now. It's like I'm sitting there watching it, like, okay, I'm gonna spoil stuff. Well, I won't go to the big spoiler town, but it's just like there's a character, and I was like, the whole time I'm like, I don't trust this character. It's like I don't have any reasoning for not trusting them, but like they wanted my help, and then they tried to kill me within like the first like 30 seconds of me meeting this person, and then it's like, you're hired. I'm like, what? And then and then we go from there, and it's just like, oh my goodness, they were evil? So.
I thought we established that. Yeah. Silly.
But yeah. I don't know. Story be storying, but I'm just like, yeah, I told everyone, like, I don't know. I was like, I just was playing it because I thought I could finish, like, at least the first 3 before Charity Palooza. So I'm going to try the second one, and if I'm like, man, if I don't like this, I'm going to Resident Evil 7. I'm finally going to beat that stupid game. But
Fair enough. But yeah, so complete segue back. So we were talking about remakes and rehashing of IPs. Our prompt for this week, for the title of the episode, while you guys are probably here, is us watching a movie that within a particular article or any other articles we could find online, is described as a remake that is better than the original. So we both had a list. You said you looked at some more lists to get some more ideas for something to watch.
Yeah, I didn't like any of the ones that were on the original list. And then, okay, here's where I think I went wrong. Because the movie I watched it, and then it was like, I watched it on Sunday. And then Monday, I was like, I can't even say if it was better than the original because I haven't watched the original.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh man. And then I thought of a movie that, like, we watched the original on this show, this podcast. And I was like, oh my goodness, that would have been so much better to do that. Why didn't I think of that? Oh, because it wasn't on any of the lists. Because it probably isn't better. But I was like, oh man, that would have been better just for, like, the conversation piece.
Yeah,
But,
I won't be able to talk about comparing to the original. I only watched the remake, but I'm aware of the original, but we can get into it. So
Okay,
to get
so-
into it. Oh,
Well, since with that information, the movie I was like, oh, I should have watched Fistful of Dollars. Because
I
it's
thought you were
Yojimbo.
going to say the Spike Lee movie for also
Oh, I
another
didn't even think of
Kurosawa
that.
film.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Don't worry. There's a reason why that one came up, but might be
right.
really close to what I watched anyway.
Yes, but so for us, we are tabletop nerds. We take any
yeah.
excuse to roll dice. So we have ourselves a set of rules because we're silly and like to make this already harder on ourselves. And we will roll dice, and depending on the results of the dice will be
Shoot, I
who
have
gets
to
to
do
talk
math.
first. And Itisdpayne is forced to do math. I'm forced to pick the dice. I guess we'll do the D100.
Oh wow, you're making me do big math.
all right, D4.
No, it's fine. It's fine. D100. I just gotta find them. There we go.
I picked the first dice I saw that had.
It's okay. I might get just depending on how these numbers come up. All right, so for anyone who's just wondering, I have lost 4 times in a row this dice roll. So what it is that we pretty much, I have to roll twice, and then I subtract those 2 numbers, and that is my result. And since we're rolling a D100, I might get like a negative 30.
That would be really funny. But I have a question.
Yes.
In the case of a Z100, if I roll a 0 on the 10 dice, then that is a 0 and not a 10. Correct.
Correct. No, it's if you roll like I did and get the double 0, where I rolled a 100. So
Good thing you get your math.
yeah, watch. This is gonna be like a 1. Okay, well, at least it's not a negative, but all right. Hold up. I'm doing the math in my head here. In my head, I'm just gonna open up another tab, and my brain's too fried to actually do math. Okay, I have my number. What you roll?
I rolled 40. What did you get after subtracting?
45.
You're never allowed to be first again, apparently.
Yep.
So go ahead and look up your random fact while I try to think of a joke.
Fortunately, I at least I did have it up. Hold on. Is this the Nope, that's a job posting. This isn't. I really should just bookmark that random fact website that I was using. Yeah, bring up the history. Scroll back to last Wednesday. Guys, if I was smart, I would have this up already just to be safe, but it's me. It, as a friend of ours would say a lot, it's your boy. Was that the... Nope. That was something different. Oh, wait, these are all the movies. That's... Oh, Ketchup. There we go. I remember that was the thing, so let me... No, that is... This is dumb. Why can't I never find this thing? Oh, is this it? It is. Alright, cool. I'm just gonna do the 3, 2, 1, and...
Give me the fact.
This is... Well, it's a randomly selected fact. Tyranny means unjust rule.
That's not... That's just a definition.
Yep, I'm re-rolling again. Oh! Non-dairy creamer is flammable.
That's fun. That's a fun fact.
That's a science fact.
Next time I go to get myself like a matcha latte or a coffee, I'm going to ask them to flambe it for me. Because I always get alternative milks.
My brain is too fried from the heat to come up with witty response, so I will say
that's fine. I have to
meat.
come up with a joke, apparently. So my joke going into the movie I watched is you'll... No. It's a fucking one word title movie.
Well, mine is 2 words.
There's Nosferatu where you'll guess what I watched.
I want to suck your blood. All right,
No, that's the other vampire.
Oh.
That's Dracula. Bela Lugosi. But yes. A second question. Does your movie also start with the letter N?
Nope.
All right, no show and tell.
Yeah, it has no letter N in the whole name.
All right. So now that you know the movie I watched, this is the 2024 version. I'll give you... Here, before you put in your guess for my rating for this movie, I'll tell you who directed it. Same director as The Lighthouse and The Witch.
Okay.
I'll let that inform you before I... And Nosferatu is a known enough story, I think, in horror that...
Yeah, I'm just... Oh, well, I found the 1922 version. Is that it? I found a 1923 version.
2024 is the one I watched.
Yeah.
What are you peeking at? Don't get ideas before you put your guess for a
no,
review.
I all I'm trying to do is find a poster for me to put underneath you. There we go, Robert Eggers. There we go. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see, because I have heard about this movie, and I did listen to a couple different reviews on it. I haven't seen it yet, but alright. I am writing my number, but before we do that, should we come up with a fun rule?
Oh, frick. I'm supposed to do that. I was too busy getting stuck on my bad
It's okay.
joke.
We kind of changed it that it's like a team effort now.
All right. I don't know what we don't have covered already. So I guess
Let's
I'll
see.
start with the first half and you can finish the second half is what we've been
Okay.
saying.
Yeah.
If it was your prompt for this week, comma.
Must review last meal eaten.
That's fun because we always meet right after dinner. Unless
Yeah.
it's the weekend, then sometimes I eat
then
breakfast.
or it's the day before.
All right, that's fun. Easy peasy rule.
There we
Silly.
go.
Any other checklist items before I start talking about said movie?
Nope, but I do have to set the timer, so give me 1 second, Maru.
No
As I
worries.
moved everything around on this phone, and I did have the timer up here. I did find out that I have a instant translator on my phone. That's fun.
Nice.
It will work when I go to China. Anyway, there we go. I found it. It saved the time. All right, I'm starting the time. 3, 2, 1, boom.
Yeah, so anyone that has general knowledge of vampires has probably heard of Nosferatu, or if you've watched SpongeBob, there is a bit with Nosferatu in it, surprisingly enough. So basically, I went into this movie trying not to expect anything. I didn't even realize the director was the same director as a few other movies I've watched. Like I said, I love The Lighthouse, The Witch I thought was fine. And so I went into Nosferatu kind of like not really paying attention to anything else around it. And when I was starting it up, I did see it was like nominated for an Academy Award and everything like that. But what I will say is Gothic fiction is like, if you had to ask me what my favorite genre is, it probably is Gothic fiction, or at least that like horror adjacent to that. Books that I reread all the time are Frankenstein and Dracula. And Dracula is basically what Nosferatu was like. The person who, I believe in 1920s, they wanted to make a Dracula movie, and Bram Stoker's wife, I think Bram Stoker had passed away and the estate was in his wife's name. His wife, who the book was finally famous after being a petty novel for so long, was like, no, you can't have the rights. So I believe the director was like, well, I'll make Dracula, but not Dracula. And such, Count Orlok comes to be. He's mixed a little bit with like German folklore, and then you get Nosferatu. So some of the story elements are the same between like Dracula and that, where like you have the real estate agent, you have creepy rich guy, and like et cetera, et cetera. But essentially, I can't necessarily speak to the original movie because I haven't seen it myself. Again, a lot of people have seen the gif of like long fingernailed, bald, bumpy headed vampire looking over his shoulder in black and white. Let's see if I can find one to send to you, Dpayne. Hopefully when I look up Nosferatu, it's not all the new movie. Oh, yeah.
When I think of Nosferatu, I think of, was it Peter in What We Do in the Shadows?
Yeah, it's very much that character, but I sent you the two gifs. Like, he is a very popular, like, little creature, in my opinion. I think his movie makeup and thing like that, for the 1920s, is very fun. I probably will eventually go back and watch this, but I can only speak to the 2024 adaptation, truly. So in 2024's adaptation, you get a much more like icky guy, for lack of a better term, because they open the story with the female lead, and the female lead, she might have made some vows to a creepy old vampire who is questionably number of years old. And then she basically says that the only times that she's not cyclically linked to some otherworldly power is when she's asleep next to her very kind of milquetoast husband, who is the real estate agent in this case. And they kind of do the, I think it's set in like 1838 or something like that. And they have the whole setup where the husband's like, we don't have a lot of money. Let me go and take this one job. I'm promised that I'll get like a huge amount of money if I can close this account and get this random guy in a different country to buy this castle that nobody wants because it's decrepit. But then we'll have all the money in the world and I can spoil you because you're my wife and I love you. And then the female lead is like, no, don't do it. It's evil. And I'm just like, ugh, she's a lot. And then... but he still takes the job because he's a man. And what do they say about wives in that time? They have the hysteria. They have, you have fits. You have. So he basically sends her to live with their best friends. And their friends are really rich people who have a couple kids and have that ideal. I think what they imply is the male lead played by Nicholas Hoult. I think his character's name is Thomas. He clearly wants the life that this friend has because the friend has like 2 daughters and a third kid on the way, and they have a massive house and they have a loving marriage and everything's like fancy, rich, blah, blah, blah. But the female lead, her name's Ellen, she keeps saying like, I don't want that. I just want to live happily ever after with you. Kind of hiding the fact that she may have other issues related to everything going on. But in any case, he goes to the castle, ends up meeting Count Orlok. Everything is creepy. It's fun. It's weird. It's what you'd love to see in like vampires and things like that. And then he ends up running away because Vampire Man is like, is that a locket of your wife's hair on your hip? And he's like, yeah, why? And he takes the locket and it goes, ah, and he's just like, ugh, creepy. So he goes, my wife, she's in danger. And then ensues the usual kind of like vampire hunt of it all, where it's like, who's going to get to who first, who, et cetera, et cetera. The thing for me in this adaptation is, you know how sometimes you think a man is trying to write a female character and that he thinks that she's being strong and independent, and you're just like, why would a woman do that? Like, they basically, I don't know, there are some choices from the female lead, and there were moments, and there's like, even in the end, like Strider, he didn't watch the first half with me, but he watched the second half, and I was like, there was a moment in the ending, I looked over him and I'm like, am I made out of stone if I literally don't care? He was like, oh, she's an unlikable character. You don't have to do anything. I was like, okay, just making sure that I'm not evil. Because I cried over the movie with the pig and Nicolas Cage, but there's a human on screen. I'm just like, I couldn't care less. But I don't know. There are just like some writing decisions and things in it that made me feel like it was very much a woman written by a man. Parentheses negative. And it's just, I don't know, there was one scene in particular that really annoyed me in ways of just, so I guess the way I can paraphrase it is they kind of imply that the female lead may be kind of, you know how like in folklore they'll say kids are sometimes born and they live in this weird space between the living and the dead because they're so young, like being born and fresh to life. I know, I think it's like a lot of Asian folklore really leans into that, and then like some Western ones are kind of like The Sixth Sense, they say like kids are more prone to see ghosts than adults. But her as an adult, she is in that in between. And they kind of talk about how she used to sleepwalk all the time and she used to seem to have visions and all this stuff. And that's why Mr. Vampire Man is particularly interested in her, because she is in this kind of like in-between state, which makes her different. Shrug.
Different.
And they kind of like emphasize that when she's asleep, she's like, she has fits, and then she has these rich friends, and the rich friends are like, she keeps having seizures. What do we do to stop the seizures? And they kind of do the 1830s thing. They're like, bloodletter. Her humors are off. But of course, she's
we should
like,
go back to that, honestly.
And then, like, at one point, he's like, make sure she wears a corset, because if she sleeps in a bad posture, she's going to have nightmares. And I was like, this is funny from, like, a modern lens, because, like, I can see why they would say these things, and that it's clearly not helping. But some of the actions and some of the things that she does and some of the ways that the story goes about, because it's almost like there's, I would say, I guess it's like two main threads. There's one thread that feels kind of, at least from what I think I understand of the original Nosferatu, from like what I've like kind of read as synopses. You have the one thread that's kind of traditionally that thread, which follows the Thomas character as he goes through the usual, like, he goes to another country. The locals of that country go, hey, don't go to that castle, it's creepy. And he's like, you're just locals. What do you know? And then goes to the castle anyway. And then goes to the castle and goes, maybe they were right. Everything is creepy. Like, that feels like a traditional, like, gothic fiction tale to me. And then you have the other plot line of the female lead, and I'm just like, I don't know what they're trying to do. Like, I understand, like, from what I understand of the original story, while she's not necessarily a main character, this female lead, she still, like, has an important role to play. But it feels like they tried to really add a lot to her character that really lengthens the movie in a way that I was kind of like, this movie's really long, and they keep talking. And I think the other thing that kind of, it feels like, I love horror, I love gothic fiction, I also love, like, gritty movies that are messy. Like, I watched Pig, I watched Old Boy recently and really loved those. You told me about City of Angels and how it's just, like, if it had the Hollywood lens, it would not be the same movie.
City of God.
Or City of God, sorry.
I was like, what the heck is that one?
No, City of Angels, that's just Los Angeles. But, yeah, it felt like, to me, this was Hollywoodified in some ways. Because, like, I think if you have the IMDb open and look at the cast, all of the cast for Nosferatu are conventionally attractive people. Like, it has that Hollywoodification. Even though they want to convince me that the leads, the male and female lead, are poor, they have tailored outfits that are all really clean and, like, starch white. They all have perfectly kempt hair. They're all, like, really pretty, and they all look very well showered. And while, like, fine, also, like, you want me to believe this is 1830. And then the thing that really pissed me off, and it's so stupid, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. It's in Germany, and everyone's British. Everyone's British. And at first I was going to be like, maybe they're just British people living in Germany. But then they say, like, Herr and Frau to refer to people as titles. I was like, it's so nitpicky, but there are German actors that exist. Hollywood could find German actors, but they all hired British actors. And then they have one character who they say, he's from Switzerland. Can you guess who the actor from Switzerland is?
I already looked it up.
It's William Dafoe. He doesn't put on an accent. I love William Dafoe. He is perfect. He carried the movie in some scenes. But, like, they were like, he was in Zurich, and then now he's in Germany. And I'm like, why is he just vaguely New England?
So I think I was just curious because I saw that Willem Dafoe's in this movie, and I know he's in The Lighthouse, and I'm like, wait a second. And I was looking at Robert Eggers' Wikipedia page, and he has another movie coming out. Oh wait, no, it comes out this year at some point called Werewolf, and it's spelled WERWULF. So it's another whatever. But Lily Rose Depp, who's in this movie, Nosferatu's in there, and also Willem Dafoe. And I'm like, wait a second. William Dafoe's also in The Lighthouse. Eggers only has two other movies. The Witch, which I know he's not in there. I looked up to make sure. And The Northman, which is like the Viking kind of stuff. He's in that. And I was like,
he clearly has favorites.
I'm like, and it's funny because like whatever her name is,
Lily Rose,
Anna,
or Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, she's in The Northman and The Witch.
The Witch,
and it's like okay, I guess she blew up, so she can't do his movies anymore, and it's just like, dude, what did like at the same time, Willem Dafoe seems like it seems like Robert Eggers is doing the like just weird stuff that he's like, you know what, I'm down.
Yeah, like William Dafoe, like I liked his role, but like at the same time, they do this build-up where they go, well, he's from Switzerland, he's from Zurich, he was ousted from the academic community because he's really into the occult now, and then he turns around and goes, I'm a black sulfur's not turning to gold. And I'm like, oh, that's William Dafoe. So, I don't know. It's like weird nitpicky things for me in terms of like, I've seen other people talk about it where they're like tired of seeing Instagram faces in period pieces, i.e. like Wuthering Heights and things like that, where it's just like, it's hard to believe that you can be in that world when everything is kind of like clean, polished, like Hollywood lensed. Because like even like just the little things, like when I watched Pig with Nicolas Cage in it, I could believe he was an isolated guy in the woods without a shower because he was always covered in dirt. His hair was unkempt. His clothes had holes in it. Like he never looked good. He just was a guy. And I know that was like really purposeful because you have city dwellers in the same movie as him to contrast him. But like Old Boy, the Korean one that I had watched, like everybody's dirty, all the walls are dirty, all the scenery is dirty because it's kind of like Parasite, where it's supposed to exemplify the fact like they are not living well, they just are trying to make it. So then like for it to be 1830s Germany and there's no poop in the street, like guys, come on. All the cobblestones are clean, like I cannot, like I don't know, little things like that. And like costuming, beautiful costumes, but at the same time I was like, you guys told me they were poor and they need money, yet she's wearing like a bright dress that's fitted very well and is like really pristine and everything. I guess you could make the excuse that her rich friend bought her the dress, but like I don't know. It was just like it made it hard for me. And then the delivery of the lines, like it almost felt to me like, you know, like you can tell in high school where they go, hey, read this part of the play. And it's like, dost hast thou been betrayeth? And like when the kids are talking to each other, they're clearly like focusing too much on sounding like they're reading the lines rather than talking to each other. A lot of points in this movie felt like people reading this like older kind of speech, but not like talking to each other. Like it didn't feel like dialogue to me. And I don't know if it's a script issue or an editing issue or things like that, but it always felt like people were talking past each other. And again, maybe I'm just a sucker for a movie where everyone's depressed and yelling at each other and it feels like no conversations. But I don't know, like I feel so nitpicky. Did I already run out of time?
No, it's my phone making noises about the weather. You're fine.
Oh, is there another storm coming through?
No, it's just that time that it lets me know, hey, rain. But anyway.
But yeah, so on one hand, I feel really nitpicky, but Strider said to me it makes him feel better that I'm this nitpicky because with media that he cares a lot about, he'll say like criticisms and people are like, you're overthinking it. But I'm like sitting here and I'm like, I love Gothic fiction. I was excited to watch this because I heard good things, but like I don't like some of the direction. I can see why it's popular. I can see why I got awards, but it doesn't, I don't know. It's almost like
you want something more grounded in that world rather than something that looks really nice and is hitting the themes. You want something
I don't connect
more embedded.
To it.
Yeah. Can I change my guess?
But the other thing about it, like I said, I felt like it was a long movie. It was like 2 hours and like 12 minutes or something like that. And what was the other thing? There was something else about it that really threw me. You probably know the word for it better than I do. What is it called when they like pan a camera in the direction that a character is like trying to look?
They just like kind of move the camera like if they're looking off screen. Yeah,
so say like imagine like a character, you see them kind of walking down a stairwell, and before they get to the bottom of the stairwell, the camera spins around to show the rest of like what would be at the bottom of the stairwell. Or like to pan around a room as a character enters a room.
I'm looking up what different moves.
Am I explaining it in a way that makes sense to you? I think
so. Okay. Yeah, where it's like, okay, they're like you're
like
looking at where
Knight.
they're going, and then like how it like the camera turns and focuses like kind of like you're looking at their face as they're looking at something else,
and then it turns to show you what they were looking at. Yeah, that kind of thing. Like Green Knight kind of plays around with it. But for me, I feel like in this movie, there was one point where they panned the camera so many times that I was like, there's nothing exciting happening. Stop doing it. It's supposed to be a reveal. You're just revealing an empty room. I'm so tired of you spinning this damn camera. And then the other weird thing, again, it feels nitpicky, but I think it's because it felt so Hollywood in terms of like trying to prove that it was a good movie in terms of like different aspects. But it felt almost like there were stills that the director wanted, and that leading up to those stills felt disjointed. Like, there's a really cool scene with William Dafoe standing in a room that was on fire. But leading up to that point, I was like, why did the characters do anything that they did to lead up to the point to William Dafoe being in a room full of fire? And the way that it, like, it stays on certain scenes, it's kind of like, I forget what it's called. Oh, it's like the storyboard is like, we need this particular panel. How do we get there? Versus, like, letting it naturally breathe. Again, maybe I'm just being a hater because the Hollywoodness of it really got to me. Maybe this is, again, why I just like indie films better. I think this one was produced by one of the big names. Like, I saw Comcast's name on it, and... Oh,
that's the time I was like, what the heck was that noise?
Oh.
You're good.
Yeah, but it did open with a lot of those big names where I was just like, oh, this has a lot of money behind it. Yeah,
so I think the term, there's two that I feel like fits, and I'll read the description, because now we're getting into my little idiosyncrasies of, like, terminology and make sure we use terms right. So there's arc, where there's an arc moves the camera in a circle without breaking its focus on the character or object in the scene, so that way you can move the camera left and right of its center point to create an arc. So it's like, here's, like, I think the actor, and then you were just kind of going back and forth. And then there's cant, or cant probably, which is similar to panning, but cant reflects sideways movement without adjusting the camera's location. So, however, it tilts rather than, so maybe that one's not right. So it's probably a combination of these things. I used to know these terms a little bit better, but not anymore. But yeah.
Yeah, it looks like this is taken very positively. So maybe it's a me problem. And that's okay. This is full of our opinions.
It's not a you problem. It's you. This is your personal preference. This is what all our show is. It's our personal preferences. And it's like, hey, there's tons of movies out there that I know people like that I don't. And there's, in our conversations, I know there's tons of movies that people like that you don't, and this is just one of them. And there's movies like where we come up with the same kind of reactions, and then there's ones where we have different, like, I guess a good example of that is Event Horizon. It's just like,
oh yeah, I did not
you didn't like that, and
you remembered liking it.
I remembered liking it, but also I haven't watched it in like almost 10 years, and preferences change. And yeah, and it's just one of those things where it's like, who knows what could have happened, like, producer wise or something. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, not every movie. If you try to make a movie for every single person, you're making a movie for no one. And that's the same thing with books, which you know. So.
Like I said, I feel like I've gotten more critical the more like I watch and things. Fine. And I guess the thing that I would also say, looking at what some of the positive reviews are, is I've read better stories than what they're praising this for. Where basically they go, this has so much friction between socials and eternal human thirst. I'm like, okay, like, maybe it's the wasted potential of it all, because the way that they portray Count Orlok / Nosferatu is very cool, and he has a lot of interesting aspects to him. But like I said, the choice in direction for the female lead, I think, kind of takes away from things a bit for me. Because in a way, like, I feel like Nosferatu is painted as this, like, impossible evil that could overtake the world with very little to no effort. But then they decided that Nosferatu is so obsessed with the female lead that he'll, like... And then, like, for me, it's like, oh, cool, the evil being wanted to get laid. Oh, scary. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's like when I talk about watching the Japanese, the original version of The Ring, and you get to the ending and go, that's so much more worse than I could have anticipated. And that's what I like in a horror. I think rather than this being a gothic fiction in the way that I like it and which it's sold at, is because gothic fiction sometimes is just atmospheric and people don't consider the full breadth of the genre and the goal of the genre, and it is advertised as a gothic fiction. I don't think Nosferatu originally, I don't know. I haven't watched it. I know it's seminal in horror and direction and editing and things like that and effects. So that's a different thing. But the 2024 Nosferatu movie, to me, feels like a monster flick. So maybe I had different expectations going into it. But for me, it's like when we watched Halloween and you're like, oh, it never ends. Like, that's almost a gothic fiction, right? Because you're like, he's such an evil force that he's really a force and he's not really a singular thing that you can deal with. Whereas the way Nosferatu is handled, it makes me feel like he's a guy. I don't want it scarier, creepier, and worse. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a me problem, I think. Or me opinion. Me preference.
Yeah, it's not a you problem. It's
me
your...
hop, me preference.
Yeah. Yeah. Me preference, me roar. Yeah. No, I think that's something we both need to delete from our whatever, my brain can't think of the word at the moment. Our description of, like, rather than saying our problems, no, it's our preference, our opinion. And it's like, hey, I know the internet loves having problems with opinions nowadays, but hey, you decided to listen to this podcast, so
you're stuck with our opinions.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like I haven't taken my whole timer in a while, so good for me.
Yeah.
It's the joke that I always hear, like, when you don't love something, you have a lot more to talk about versus when you do love it. But for my final rating, I do think it's technically better than an average movie, even if I don't love everything. So I think I would be willing to accept a 6 or 7 for the rating.
Well, if I turn my number upside down, I have a 6. I was just going off of what I know a lot of people, as we said, like, enjoyed the movie. And I'm like, this seems like pretty much as you're saying, in your wheelhouse. I wrote a 9 because I was like, yeah, this seems like something to be in your wheelhouse. And, like, I know a lot of people enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was curious if you were going to adjust it, because I would give Lighthouse a 9. I would probably give The Witch a 6. So I was curious if you were going to go in the middle.
Nah, I was just like, this seems like something in your wheelhouse. And it's just like, and I know some people enjoy it. And, but yeah, I don't know. I just go off of vibes.
That's very fair. All right. I think I've talked enough about Mr. Very Old Crinkly Vampire.
The other thing that's cracking me up is that I feel like Bill Skarsgård, or whatever his name is getting
He's every monster.
I know. He is the new Andy Serkis.
But he's basically put in so much makeup that you wouldn't be able to tell me who that actually was.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, he's always in so much makeup you can't tell who he is out of it.
At least in when he's you can see his, like, eyes. You know,
Yeah.
like but like the editing when Count Orlok is on screen, it's very much like, at some points, Strider said, if from some angles you could tell me that was Ryan Reynolds. It's like, from some angles you could tell me that's David Harbour. Like, it's just, it has so much shadow on purpose that it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Nah, I remember hearing different things about the movie, and I was like, I was interested, and then after hearing, like, some of the reviews, I was like, I'm no longer interested. And it's just like, I don't know the source material very much, where I'm just like, okay. Like, it sounded like I would also have the same thing where it's just like, oh, Nosferatu's just a horny dude. And I'm like, okay, I don't need a horny monster.
Yeah, it looks like, I feel better. The featured reviews all on IMDb are like 6s, where they're like, it's fine. Sometimes a director can have an okay movie. Didn't do it for me. Yeah. Why was this so hyped? Okay. Whew. All right. Yeah. I always have to remember critics sometimes are paid off. Not to accuse all of them, but
why not?
Well, why not? All right. Okay. So, what did you watch?
Okay. So, I watched a movie as I stall to write down my time. It'll be around here. So, as I said, I thought of watching Fistful of Dollars after watching this because I'm like, oh man, that would have been good because I would be able to talk about the original. But I was in the same genre. I was in westerns, mainly because I'm not going to say a lot of it on mic, but it's like Hop knows that I enjoy writing and I have a concept of something writing that is Western related. And so it kind of spurred me to watch this, and I watched the movie True Grit.
Okay.
I don't know how the original movie is.
I wrote down my guess.
Okay. I will say, the cast in here, the Jeff Bridges, I kind of feel like the way you were saying how, hold on, did I start my time? No, I didn't.
Timer time.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, how you were describing how Willem Dafoe is just Willem Dafoe in every movie. I feel like Jeff Bridges is almost the same, where he's just like, yo, everybody, this is me. I'm Jeff Bridges. How you doing? I got an eye patch in this movie. And so there was that. Matt Damon's character, like, he put on, like, and he was a Texas Ranger, but he didn't have, like, that's right, I'm from Texas. And he didn't have, like, that heavy, like, fake Texas accent. And so it was just, I'm like, okay. This is...
Was he just Matt Damon? Or did he at least put on something?
He put on a little twang in his voice, but it wasn't, like, heavy.
Okay.
Heavy on there. While Jeff Bridges was just Jeff Bridges, which, I don't know, take it or leave it. But, yeah, Matt Damon it wasn't bad. It was a fun combination. Josh Brolin was in the movie, and I didn't even realize it was him until after I was looking at the IMDb, and I'm like, oh, wait, that guy. And then I know people talk about this actress. I have no clue who she is, but apparently I recognize the name, Haley Steinfeld.
She's in Sinners, if you've seen that.
Nope.
I think if this wasn't her breakout role, I think it's one that at least people were like, oh, she can act. That kind of, like...
Yeah.
Because she's younger in it, right?
Yes. Let's see. It said she was on Hawkeye. Hold on. Oh. It'd be good if I clicked the button and had more movies come out. I gotta scroll all the way. Okay. That's TV. Oh, yeah. So this was her, like, first movie. Yeah. So, first movie, and, yeah, which put her on the scene, which I will say, she did, for someone who pretty much is just in a couple short films beforehand, I think she did. Like, she does a really good job playing off of the
adults.
Yes. And definitely, she doesn't feel, like, swept away in, like, everyone else's acting. So... yeah, okay, she's in Pitch Perfect, which is another movie I never watched, so cool. But anyway, so the whole point of this movie is Haley Steinfeld's character, Maddie Ross. Her father is helping this man, like, pretty much this man. He cheats in a poker match. He's like, holy fart crackers, I'm gonna go to jail. Peace, and kills Maddie's father and steals his horse and runs away. And in true Western fashion, Maddie comes out there to settle affairs, and instead of listening to her mother and every single adult in this town that says, hey, we'll take care of it, go home, she's like, no, I'm going out there, I'm going to hire, like, the baddest person that I can hire, and I'm going to go out and hunt my father's killer. And so that's when she meets Rooster Cogburn, which is Jeff Bridges' character, and pretty much goes out into, like, convinces him. Also meets LeBeef, which is Matt Damon's character, and it's like the three of them, and they go out. And that's pretty much sets the premise. It is a very basic Western story of, oh no, person dead or something happened, let's go hunt down a criminal. Overall, like the pacing for this movie, like, didn't have a problem with. It reminded me a lot of a book that I've read 2 years ago, called Lonesome Dove. I believe I talked about it 2 years ago.
I know you at least mentioned it to me because you're like, I've picked the largest book ever.
Yes.
Because you read that. And didn't you also read, the thing that got adapted into a Hulu show, which is also Shonen? You also read it around the same time?
Yes, right? Yes. Shonen was last year. Lonesome Dove was 2 years ago.
Okay.
And then this year, the giant book was The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. But there's a lot of World War II movies. But yeah, anyway, so this, as they're going through it reminds me a lot of that, where at least the setting. So I feel like they got some of from what my very elementary dip into Westerns, it gets the vibe correctly. It's very much, the most of this is Haley Steinfeld and Jeff Bridges kind of just going through the woods hunting down this person. And it's you kind of have Rooster Cogburn and LaBeef, like, they're going back and forth because Rooster is a U.S. Marshal and LaBeef is a Texas Ranger. And so they both do their things differently. And like in the beginning of the movie, it's just like, oh, well, blah, blah, your people do this. And he's like, oh, you do this. And you blah. And they're like, it's very much like how what I would feel like branches of the military is like, oh, the Marines, you eat crowns. And like the Air Force, you just sit in the air conditioning. Like it's that back and forth, but it's like all around like, oh, you would have died if this general, that ain't a general. And it's just like, okay, as Maddie, the girl's just sitting there just like, I'm 14 years old and you guys are bickering worse than I am. So it's yeah, the whole kind of like adventures they have in there and everything, it was fun. It felt like it is based off of it, but as I was saying, I can't base it off of the original, so it's just like, I don't know if they changed anything or if anything was different. So I will say there was some lines that felt like they were definitely from a different time. That it's like, when did this movie come out? 2010? Yes.
Yeah, it's like, is that the first Coen Brothers movie too? Because I know they got really famous, I think, off of this as well.
Maybe. I don't know. It could be. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like, it's a line like, hey, when this was all going around, like, yes, it makes sense why they're saying this, but in 2026, it's like, really, you needed that line? Where pretty much Maddie, the girl who's 14 years old, wakes up, and LaBeef, Matt Damon's character, is in her room, just like, I don't know if he's smoking or something. He's smoking a pipe, and she's just like, what are you doing in here? And he's just like, oh, I was here talking with Rooster, and we're gonna go get that fella, but you got to go back home. And it's just like, she's just sitting there like in bed, like, okay, but like, why are you here? And no, I'm going to go get my father's killer. And he's like, man, like, pretty much the line is, man, if you weren't so ugly to look at him, I would have thought about sneaking myself a kiss while you were sleeping, but I'm glad I didn't do that. And I'm like,
a child.
Yeah, I was like, you 14, like, at the, not justifying it, but at the time, it's like it's old was 27. It feels like, because
middle-aged for the West.
Yeah. And so the fact that Rooster Cogburn is like probably like at that time in his 50s, like, he's just an old man. He never hits on Maddie. Like, it's almost like the nice thing about that is like Rooster Cogburn, Jeff Bridges' character, is very much like that old man that is just like he's just like hearing what?
Yeah, he says things that are just embarrassing.
Yeah, no,
whether he means it or not. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, anytime he talks, it's like there's so many scenes, which it is funny, like as it's showing them walking, and it just cuts to like the middle of him telling a story. It's like, yeah, and there was this one time that I was doing this, and I got shot 7 times, and they said oh no, it wasn't that. It was like yep, and my second wife, she said that, and it's just like going on, and it's like the girl's just like, okay, like I've been listening to you. It's like I've been listening to your story so long that we're in a completely different biome. Like it was the desert when we left. It is now snowing. So it's
just loves hearing himself talk.
Yeah. But it's like that is like the transitioning of like the scenes, but then there's like other things where it's like he kind of shares a little bit of the wisdom that he has, where it's just like, oh, why, like, it's just like, why is this person, it's like, is this the person that they find like a person who's hanged on the road, and at this part, like Jeff Bridges and Matt Damon's character, they fight and they split up, so it's just like, you go your own way, we're going this way.
No, not a breakup.
Yeah, one of many of the film. And so they're going back and forth, and it's just like, okay, well, they find a body hung in a tree, and he's just like, is that your man? It's just like, nope, that isn't. He's like, all right, we'll cut him down. I might know him. And it's just like, what? Why? It's just like, hey, I got to make money somehow. And it's just like, it's funny. It's funny because like Rooster, Jeff Bridges' character, is always like, oh man, I might know that guy. Nope. So, and then there's like times like he does know people, and so it's interesting for like how connected everyone is, but at the same time disconnected, because it's like there are cities, but it isn't like the cities now. It's like the outpost of humanity as like America is pushing out west. And so it's lawlessness, and it's all like within these marshals and rangers that are kind of roaming the land to hunt down these outlaws. And so, but overall, there was a lot of humor to it, but at the same time, it's stuff that is just like, oh, okay. But yeah, I feel like that's my biggest gripe, is that I don't know what the original film was, so I don't know what was different, what was changed, what was everything, because like right now I just like, hey, it feels like an average Western. Like it doesn't feel like it's a little bit different, because I feel like when I think of Westerns, I think of the Clint Eastwood movies, where it's like, all right, now we're gonna have like a standoff in the middle of the town, and it's like there isn't that scene. There isn't like a quick draw kind of duel. But it does dip into, as I said, the little bit of Western stuff that I know of, that tall tale stuff. Because pretty much the story is all told from Haley Steinfeld's character's point of view, where like she's narrating the beginning, she's narrating at the end, and we're kind of like following along with them. And then it's just like the ending of the movie is like, it's like, oh, okay, everything good. No, and it's just like, it feels like that, as I said, like with I'm just comparing it to Lonesome Dove, because there's a lot of things that, and it could just be that staples in Westerns, which we don't have our resident Western expert. Strider's in the other room, but I feel like it's almost a theme where it's just like, hey, we did it, but guess what? Here's one more thing that's really sucky, and it's just like, oh, okay. But it's just like, look how tough this person is, and all that. But overall, like, I don't really have like much to say because it's for me. It was like an average movie. Like some of the characters were fun. Some of it didn't feel like too long a movie. Definitely stuff like as I mentioned where it's like how they interact with Maddie's character is just like, oh, okay, well, I know why they put it in, but it's still like, oh, okay, doesn't mean I
Doesn't mean you
approve
like
of it. Yeah, it's just like, hey, but yeah, I think like something else that is like as I said, the thing that I liked most about this movie is Haley Steinfeld. Like, I don't know if she was actually 14. Actually, I guess we could look up. How old is she now? We can do this.
Math.
Yep. 1996.
So she'd be 3 years younger than me. So she's 30 right now.
Oh, yeah, she would have been 14 years old in this movie.
Not often they actually cast someone that is the age.
Yeah. And like she does a really good job. Like, I think this movie's worth watching her, like her performance, because she does a pretty good performance. Like, not that the character is like super like flamboyant or anything. She's very much straight lace and all that stuff, but it is, you can see as she progresses through the story and kind of like her single-mindedness of I want to get revenge, and then she kind of gets a kinship with Jeff Bridges and Matt Damon's characters. And it's not like something where I feel as some movies could be like, oh man, she's fallen in love, and it's like, no, she's just like the one Jeff Bridges character. The way I'm looking at it, and I feel there's no thing. It's just like, oh, is she into him? It's more of as like a grandfather relationship, and then Matt Damon's character almost feels uncle-esque. And even though Jeff Bridges and Matt Damon's characters are going to bicker all the time, they, like, when a push comes to shove and they get their egos out of the way, they kind of like come together and work together. And so, yeah, overall, I don't really got much to say, because it's just like, yeah, if you like Westerns, you're going to like this movie. And, yeah, I would be interested to hear if Strider has watched this one, to see what he thought, if he watched both, and which one, if he thought it did justice to the original, or if the original wasn't that great to begin with.
Yeah, I can try asking him after this, and then I can let you know.
Mm-hmm.
But so then, are you at a spot where I can share with you the rating that I thought you gave it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm ending my
I
time
didn't want to cut
early.
you off.
Yeah,
if you
no,
had more thoughts.
I'm kind of done. It's like it's a very straightforward movie, and it's just like, yeah, I wasn't upset, but I wasn't thrilled. But yeah, go ahead.
All right, I thought that you were going to give this a 7.
Yeah, I was thinking like right around there, like 6 or 7. It's just like, it's average. Like,
I get to skip.
Yeah, it's it's slightly above average for me, because it's like average would be 5, and I'm like, I didn't. It's not that I was completely. I'm trying to think of a good example here as I'm looking through my movies.
Like,
here.
it met your expectations.
Yeah, it was pretty much what I was expecting. It wasn't like I'm like looking through these and I'm like, actually, I liked a lot. Six-Headed Shark Attack, that doesn't feel like it's even a good thing, but it's just like, Yeah, or like Alone in the Dark, where it's just like, well, I knew Alone in the Dark's gonna be bad. I can't think of like a good example. Oh, hold up, I can go to our
Like a
spreadsheet.
perfectly average movie? Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Or
let's see. Where's our A24 list? I feel like
Ghost Story? Is that
Ghost
perfectly
Story.
average? It was
Yeah,
technically a movie.
yeah, it's technically a movie. I don't know if I would enjoy it now a little bit better. But I I think a good Life After Beth. I think that is a perfectly average movie. It was
Oh,
like
yeah. You
that.
could throw it on in the background and just be like, ha, and then just move
Yeah,
on.
it's like
Yeah.
you kind of giggle, you kind of move on. You're all good. It's just like you know what you're going into for, and it's like there was some stuff that was funny, some stuff that's like, all right, and it was cool. True Grit, like I would say it's slightly above average. I was thinking either like a 6 or a 7. I probably lean a little bit more towards a 7 because I was like, uh, of just with everything. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, I already said my number, so I'm not going to change it. But I was just like, and this was the first movie in a while that I was like, I paused to go like get up and edit something on my computer and sit back down and watch. So maybe if I remembered that, I probably rate it a little bit lower. But it's just like, it's yeah, it's a western. Like there's probably better westerns, but I feel like for what this prompt was, I can't do a real strong like was this better than the original because I didn't watch the original.
That's fair.
So, and that's what I was getting at. I thought of watching Fistful of Dollars or whatever it was before because we watched Yojimbo.
Mm-hmm.
So, but hey, it's too late now. Are you ready to spin a wheel?
A whole wheel just for us?
Yeah.
All right, let me bring up the wheel.
The wheel of possibilities.
And I also got to bring up OBS. Because I always tell myself, I'll wait to bring up OBS so it doesn't fight with Zoom. And then we start the podcast. And I don't have it started yet.
That's all good.
So just a few moments.
We're nowhere close to actually getting to the 1:15 mark.
Yeah, which one is that?
That's when we reset. 2 rules are reset. So.
Yeah, because we got to the point where we said there's too many rules and we wanted rules to fix the rules.
And now we just make complete nonsense rules, which is it's fun.
It makes it a lot easier than trying to make it too serious. All right, OBS, are you ready? Nope, not quite yet. Man, I'm usually more prepared than this.
It's all good. We'll blame the heat.
At least I didn't last minute go, I didn't watch a movie like I did our last time we went to record. It's just funny that I was like, okay, here's my alarms. I got to be up. I got to be home in time to meet. And then while I was out, I was like, I didn't watch a movie. But that's
it's
okay. All right,
good.
I have OBS up now. I have the wheel, so I'm going to start recording. And then I'm going to spin that wheel.
Woohoo! So I changed my time.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the movie that it has landed on, or the prompt for a movie, is a genre you don't usually watch.
All right. Everyone prepare for me to watch a romance.
Smooch, smooch, smooch.
I'll go watch Nosferatu.
That would be a fun comparison on our 2 parts.
Let's see. Whose prompt was that? Who gets to explain their food next week?
That's a good thing to remember in the middle.
Let's see. Searching. Well, it's in here somewhere because it was on the list. Well, I can't find it.
It's one of mine.
Okay, I'm like
row 9.
Okay. There you go. And just I butchered spelling describe. But anyway.
But we'll remember when we meet next to record.
So, but yeah. Thank you everyone for hanging out and watching our show. Join us to see what genres we don't normally watch, which this would be buck wild if we watched the same movie. It would be hilarious.
With this large range.
Yeah. I gotta go look up genres for movies now. But anyway, thank you everyone, and we'll see you next week. And yeah, toodles.